Linus Omark had maybe one of the most controversial first games in NHL history. Omark was well known for being a very high-skilled player in the late 2000s, early 2010s, playing mostly in Europe after being drafted 97th overall by the Edmonton Oilers. In 2010, Omark moved to North America and in his first NHL game pulled off this in the shootout. You know how sometimes nowadays you'll hear about a small minority of NHL commentators complain about players like Zegras skilling it up too much? Well, in the 2010s, complaints like that were taken far more seriously. For example, one of my probably top 10 favorite players had what I think was a very bad take, as Martin St. Louis complained that this attempt was a slap in the face. I disagree. Even knowing Omark's past as a bit of a hot dogger, sure, the Spinorama isn't actually a part of his move to score, but it undoubtedly made the goalie stop and think for at least a second. He almost immediately goes fake slap shot before sliding the puck home through the 5-hole. The goalie was completely frozen, and I don't doubt that the Spinorama may have played into it. I could be wrong. Either way, I think a bit of cheekiness is okay in the NHL, and I actually love to see it. The confidence to do that in your first NHL game is just unreal. Kind of reminds me in a much different context of the Merrick Malik shootout goal that I saw live as a Rangers fan. The game had went to 15 rounds of shootout. Malik pulled it off on Olaf Kolzig. Just amazing. Anyway, Linus's story has a pretty disappointing ending, at least in the NHL. He'd have a fairly respectable 27 points in 51 games in his first year with Edmonton. During his time in the AHL, he was consistently a point-a-game player. However, he'd only get 27 more NHL games, 14 with Edmonton, 13 with Buffalo, before leaving for Europe, where he still plays. But do you remember Linus Omark, the highly touted skilled player? What do you think about his brief tenure in the NHL? Let me know all of that and more, including your thoughts on the shootout. Was it too cocky? Was the controversy overblown? Down below.